What up, guys? This is Casey Israel again, and today we're going to do the 2023 edition of the Collection Room Tour. So, not a lot of change from the previous year, but there are some new stuff, moved a lot of stuff around, and yeah, got some new stuff. So, let's start over this part of the room. Over here are my Nintendo Famicom games right here. These cassette tape holders are great for these Nintendo Famicom games. They're great for Sega Genesis games. They're great for the Sega Master System games. Good for 32X games. So, these are actually pretty freaking good. Up here, I have my minis. You got my mini Famicom, Sega Genesis Model 1, NES, Super Nintendo, the Commodore 64, and just extensions and stuff like that. I moved a lot of my Pong clones over here. You see my Philips CDI box. Wii U, Pico, Atari 7800 box, RCA Studio 2 box, Magnavox Odyssey 2 box. That's in there. I got one Super Nintendo cartridge case. Got an N64 cartridge case. Got some Sega Dreamcast stuff right here, a Pong clone. Got a Super Famicom system I picked up this year. Same thing with the Famicom in its box this year as well. I picked up the Fairchild Channel F box this year. Picked up the Breath of the Wild collector box. It's still sealed. A lot of that stuff is still pretty the same from previous year. Going back over here, this is where I keep most of my loose Atari games right there. Atari 2600 games. Like I said, these cassette holders are okay for these 2600 games. A lot of times the Atari games won't fit on those. They're a little tighter than these. So, and down here are 5 of my Atari 2600 albums. And this little bit random, that's what's called a CED disc. It's like Laserdisc, but older. Up here, I got some loose Atari Jaguar games with the Jaguar box games, and they go across. Then I got some Atari 5200 games. I picked this up this year. I'm actually thinking about getting rid of them again because I have a 5200, but it's not working properly. So I'm on the edge about selling it. Got 7800 games. You can see there, and then there are more in the back. Then that Commodore 64 games. I got a Nintendo e-reader game where you use cards on your Game Boy Advance. Coming down here is the Magnavox Odyssey 2 box games and loose games. And then I got the Mother 2 and the Super Mario games. And the Mother 1 and 2 and 3. They're just kind of random right there. Down here is my Super Nintendo games. You see my Mario Paint and Legend of Zelda BS. It's a Teleview game. And I got some floppy disk drive games that I made copies of my Super Nintendo games. All those are working Super Nintendo games on floppy disk. Come down here, we got some loose Intellivision games, some box television games, and there are more box television games behind than those, and behind the ColecoVision games. And then down here are my boxed Atari games. With Atari 2600, and in the corner got some Atari 7800. Those last three in the corner are 7800 games. And then over here is my NES box collection. I got Aladdin Deck Enhancer, still sealed. Game Genie in the box. Actually, got 3 Game Genies. Actually, several of them in there. A bunch of Mario games. Then 2 copies of Zelda. You got DuckTales. DuckTales 2, Chippendales 2, Kickmaster. Some big title names. And then Mike Tyson Punch-Out. Then you got Punch-Out. Then you got a Punch-Out. So what this is, first in America we got Mike Tyson's Punch-Out. And when Nintendo let Mike Tyson's license run out, they just converted it to Punch-Out. And then at the very end, in 1992, they released it again. A re-release. This is with the original sticker on it. All 3 are pretty good box. Then got some Goblins. Then I got the Black Box series. I don't have them all. I have a good chunk of them. Some Tengen games, unlicensed Tengen games in its box. 3 NES cleaning kit box, and they're different. Coming down. This is a reproduction game that never came out. I have a bunch of NES games in their boxes. It's amazing how many I come across. From here to here is unlicensed games from different companies. Alright, over here, behind that is my Famicom disc games. Then I got my NES Asian games. You can see totally different colors. These are Asian. That's Hong Kong. A pirate copy. Then from these right here are European PAL games. And some of these actually work on my top loader. This is not. This is just a expensive rare game. It's Widget. Then down here, from here down again, down to here is European PAL games. And then look, instead of just Yoshi in Europe, it's called Mario and Yoshi. And then we come down and got more of my rare, expensive games. Keep them in the cases. And then I got my first real Game & Watch. This one's called Boxing. It has weird controllers that pops it out as. It has 2 circle controllers with 1 D-pad on each one, these controllers, and one action button. This is my only graded anything is a King Hippo Nintendo Punch-Out Scratch-Off card. So, coming down, showing you guys, these are more either my favorites or more expensive games as well again. And coming down, more common games. Still some good games, some more common, like I said. Then coming down here is even more common games. And then down here, to the left, in the left corner is more common NES games. To the right of it has some reproduction games. To the right of that has some reproduction games, got some pirate games in there. And then the black cartridges are Tengen. Well, in the middle to the right, on the bottom, are Tengen games. On top is Chimera games, those 3 gold games. And then you got more unlicensed games from Color Dream and Wisdom Tree. Then coming up here is my N64 games in their boxes. Recently picked up Mario Kart 64. The boxes is actually in pretty decent shape. I need to put a protector, box protector on that. And yes, I do have some loose games. They're just hidden behind this box. I want to have these little bit of these knickknacks shown on the shelves now. And then something cool like that. A Nintendo 64 controller in its box. Then coming down is my GameCube collection. Don't have a lot, but that's okay. Then coming down is my Nintendo Wii games. Next is my Nintendo Wii U game collection. I have a lot of them. I'm trying to currently get them all because I really love the Wii U. So I'm even picking up the garbage Wii U games. And then in the corner, you got some Nintendo Switch games to the right corner. Then down here, kind of stacked in the corner, is some Super Famicom games. And then I got more Nintendo Switch games down here. And then up here is my Sega Master System games in their cases and loose games right here. And I just have a random Billy Bear can. What Billy Bear is, Billy Carter, that's the brother of the President Jimmy Carter. I used to have 9 of these cans full, but I recently picked this one up for $1, so I was like, it's pretty good shape, and it's kind of cool. Then I got loose Master System games, and then I have this EverDrive pretty much with a SD card. Then I got some Game Gear games. I got the adapter. You can hook this into your Retron 5 or your Sega Genesis. It'll play your Master System games, plays your Sega card games, and it plays your Sega Game Gear games. And these are the Sega card games right here. And that's what exactly it looks like. It looks like a TurboGrafx game. Then coming down here, you can see I have a little Pac-Man Arcadian. And then you can see my Sonic games with some Genesis games. And then my Sega Genesis Model 3 in this box. Down here, please mind the mess because I am playing some of these games. So right now they're in the wrong spot. It's like some of these NES games. But you can see more Sega Genesis games in the cases. And then the X-Band. And then you got more Sega Genesis games. And more Atari Jaguar games in their boxes and loose games. I've been trying to play some more Jaguar games. And then there's more Sega Genesis games in their cases. And then up here is even more Sega Genesis games in their boxes or cases. And then 32X games. From here over, right here is reproduction games that I bought offline. Coming down here is my Sega CD collection. I have this little Pac-Man thing. And then my Sega Saturn games. I got a lot of them. It's going to be a little tricky to record over here. This is more in the corner. More Saturn games. More box games behind there. I just wanted to put that box virtual gun. And then some Japanese Saturn games. Coming down here in the left corner, from the middle to the left corner, are Sega Dreamcast games. And in the very corner is the Sega Pico games. And then over here, and actually in the corner, you can see the Dreamcast keyboard. You got my PlayStation 2 and 64. Texas TI-99 that I still have wrapped up. I hadn't played it yet. My ColecoVision. My modded PC Engine Duo. Let me move this out so you guys... Like I said, please don't mind the mess. So this has been modded to play TurboGrafx card games and CD games. So this play PC Engine and TurboGrafx. So that's pretty cool. Then a bunch of knick-knack all over the entertainment center with more console boxes. Some figures. Some really old figures. Then over here you got the Xbox original Halo Green Special Edition by Philips CDI. Super Pong clone system. 2600 with the Game Brain, where you can play 6 different games. You got my 360 right there. Xbox 360. Then got my Neo Geo. Got my NES top loader that I'm currently using. Over here is my Jaguar. Atari Jaguar. My Dreamcast. Sega Saturn that's been modded. That I can play American and Japanese. The Hyperscan. Super Nintendo. GameCube. Recently bought this Famicom keyboard. Down here you can see the Intellivision, and back here is actually my Master System, Sega Master System. Down here is my Nintendo Famicom Twin, Sharp Twin. Plays Famicom cartridge and Famicom disc drive games. Down here I got my 5200, got my 7800. There's my Magnavox Odyssey 2. Like I said, please don't mind that. And then down here you can't really see. Oh, there's my Sega Tower Power. Got the 32X. Then you got Sega Genesis and Sega CD. Like I said, please don't mind my mess. Then over here I got both Mario and Legend of Zelda Game & Watch. A bunch of Amiibos. Got Rob the Robot. I got actually the first issue of Nintendo Power. I got a lot of these artwork right here on Target. And a lot of these the smaller ones These three right here got from Target as well. These two green Zelda ones I didn't. These came from the flea market. Those three actually right there came from Target. Over on the side, these are actually skins for the Nintendo Switch. Zelda, Mario, and then down here, I always had a problem to find a spot for this. Is a Nintendo lid that had a bunch of YouTubers signed. What's funny, it first originally had this one and that one with the Angry Video Game Nerd and the guitar guy. And a bunch of the YouTubers signed that. Then you got these 3 coins for Mario 3D All-Star. Then I got a bunch of little posters. Then over here I got some marquees. Arcade marquees. And then right here is my arcade 1-up machine that's been modded that has over 800 games. Super Mario 3 poster with on one door, another is Atari poster. I just put that one up, the Power Glove. I put that little poster from the Rose that gave me. Then I got these tiny little marquees I put on the side. Then on this shelf has my Neo Geo AES games on top. And from the rest down is a Neo Geo MVS games. That means those are arcade boards. Over here is my PlayStation shelf. You see the mini. This section is my PlayStation 1 section. Down here is my PlayStation 2 section with the Resident Evil 4 chainsaw controller. Coming down here, more PS2 games with some PS3 games. And obviously you guys see some knickknacks here and there. Like I said, I like putting those up like that. And down here is a bunch of my PS4 games. Like half of them are VR games. And then over here we got some console boxes. Like this is the PS3 box. This is my PS4 box. Pro. Xbox One. Xbox 360 arcade box. My green Halo original Xbox. The HD DVD drive for the 360. These are board games up there. Miss Pac-Man and Zaxxon. Down here is my... Half of this is really Xbox shelf. This is the original Xbox games. Look at this. Pac-Man 2 handheld. They got... Whoever made this got sued. My Xbox 360 games. Master Chief helmet. And more 360 games right here. Over here is my Xbox One games. And some more down here. I keep this Halo 5 canteen box, whatever. And over here is my Philips CDI collection. Down here now is getting really random. To the left is Texas TI 99 games. I got a lot of them. So they're like 3 stacks down. In the middle is RCA Studio games in their boxes. Studio 2, I mean. Then you got the Fairchild Channel F games. Over here is the TurboGrafx games / PC Engine games. Down here is my 3DO games. And down here is even more random stuff. You got, on the left, you got Action Match games that is VHS games. In the middle is Hyper Scan games where you use CDs and cards to play it. You have to scan cards. And then the Microvision is the first version of swappable cartridges, handheld. And I got a few games for that. And then over here, I recently rehung my Neo Geo marquees. You got World Heroes 2, 3 Count Bout. I got both of those games. I recently just put up Super Mario Kart poster on the door. Down here, you got the Sega Master System poster on the left. It says, take hold of the Sega Adventure. And then you got Sonic 2. Are you up to it? And let's see. I think that's pretty much it. I do have other systems in the room. So, let's take a look around. I think that's it. Yeah, that looks like it's it. I mean, you got the Nintendo Switch box here. This is the Mario Kart Live Circuit. Sega Genesis Model 2. Commodore 64. This is the ColecoVision expansion module 1 that plays Atari 2600 games on your ColecoVision. My 2DS XL. The Action Max, the game that you use a gun, and your VCR. Your Nintendo Labo VR. The Interactor. You wear this backpack so you can feel vibration. Then you got the U-Force. You got the Power Glove. And a very unknown system called the Zavix. And this is the baseball starter kit. This pretty much what this is, a bad version of the Nintendo Wii. And this actually came out before the Wii. So that was pretty cool. And that is it. Like I said, guys, I apologize for the mess. So this is the update. What it looks like now in 2023. Oh, before we take off, I want to show you this. I thought these were cool. Remember those scratch off cards? Here are some of them actually still sealed. I think I paid like, some of these were like expensive. They're like a few dollars a piece now. So, yeah. That's pretty much it, guys. So, I'll talk to you guys later. Have a good day. Bye.